Okay. In this lecture, we'll discuss about the dielectric losses that happens in the underground cables. Okay. When a voltage is applied, remember here, when a voltage is applied across a perfect dielectric, means dielectric, your cable acts as a pure capacitor, right? I mean, a capacitor, not a pure capacitor, a capacitor. Right, capacitor in the sense there are two conducting plates. One is one is your core, another one is a your what do we say, insulator. So insulator at its ground potential. So in between the two, you have a dielectric. So if when we apply a voltage across a perfect dielectric, if it is a perfect dielectric, take an example. If it is a perfect dielectric, then there should not be any dielectric loss because the capacitor current IC is 90 degree ahead of the applied voltage. If at all, it is a perfect capacitor. You know, pure capacitor cannot do not consume any power, but you have no such perfect dielectric. So in practice, there is a small current component, that is ID, which is called as a leakage current, that is in phase with the applied voltage. So total current I leads the voltage V not by 90 degree but an angle less than 90 degree. Let me show you that. See here. This is a capacitor current and this is the applied voltage. Okay. If at all it is a pure dielectric, perfect dielectric, then this IC leads the applied voltage by exactly 90 degree. But see, in practice we have what we have, ID, a small current, leakage. There is a small leakage current that flows through the insulation that is in phase with the applied voltage, because of which the summation of IC and ID, what you will get is a current I, okay, resultant current of IC and ID, which leads the applied voltage not by 90 degree but by an angle less than 90 degree, that is by angle phi d. So what is this phi d? This is phi d. See here, we have the angle delta, right? Delta is 90 by 90 minus phi d. Now let us see this. Okay. The dielectric loss is due to the leakage resistance and is given by, the loss is given by W. Okay. W is equal to V square by R. When there is a leakage current, there is a loss. Okay. And that is a leakage loss. You can say dielectric loss. Since this dielectric loss is given by W is equal to V square by R. What is this V? Applied voltage. R is a leakage resistance, you can say. Now, tan delta is given by ID by IC. Okay. Tan delta is ID by IC. That is tan delta. ID by IC. What is this ID? ID is V by R and IC is V by XC. And what is XC? 1 by omega C. So you can write V by R. V by R is equal to V by XC. See here, you can take this side. V by XC into tan delta. So what you can write is V omega C. XC is what? 1 by omega C. So omega C comes into the numerator. So what we will get is V omega C into tan delta. So what you can write? W is equal to, see, if you multiply this by V square, then what you can write? W is equal to V square omega C tan delta, right? Omega C into V square omega C into tan delta. That is a loss, dielectric loss, where delta is known as dielectric loss angle and it is measured in terms of radians. Okay. generally this loss angle delta is very, very small. Small in the sense it's less than 0.5 degree. Therefore, what you can write, tan delta is equal to delta itself. We can take it as practically. We can take tan delta is equal to delta because delta is very, very small. For low voltage cables, dielectric losses can be neglected because the voltage is less as it is small. But for high voltage cables, the dielectric loss must be considered. The power factor for dielectric is given by cos phi d is equal to, what is phi d? 90 minus delta, right? So cos 90 minus delta, which is nothing but sin delta. The angle phi d depends on what? The angle phi d depends on temperature and voltage stress. The angle phi d depends on the temperature and voltage stress to which the dielectric is subjected. So since delta is 90 minus phi d and the dielectric loss angle is less than 0.5 degree for most of the cables, hence cos phi d should be very small under all operating conditions. But in case, if it is large, if cos phi d is large, the power loss would be large and the insulation temperature rises. Now, if the insulation temperature rises, what will happen? The rise in the temperature causes rise in the power loss, right? Rise in the power loss in the dielectric. Again, this results in what? Additional temperature rise. So if the temperature continues to increase, then what will happen? The cable insulation will be damaged. So you should always keep the temperature within safe operating conditions. Okay? Fine. This is about your dielectric loss. So dielectric loss, W is given by what? V square omega C tan delta. Okay? Now coming to the next one, comparison between DC and AC cables. Okay, let us say what are the comparison and how we compare the DC cable with the AC cables, right? The DC cable is used in the rectified DC transmission system, and the AC cable is often used in the power system, right? 50 Hz. DC don't have a frequency and AC has a power system, power frequency power system, right? This is one. DC has high transmission efficiency and low line losses as compared to AC cables. DC cable is convenient to adjust the current. In DC cable, it is convenient to adjust the current and change the power transmission direction. The installation and maintenance of a DC cable is simple and is cost involved is less. The installation and the maintenance of the DC cable is simple and the cost involved is low. Next difference is, compared with the AC cable, the power loss during the transmission of the DC cable is small. So therefore the transmission efficiency of the DC cable is high. Okay. The power loss of the DC cable is mainly the DC resistance loss of the conductor, and the insulation loss is small. That the size depends on the current fluctuation after the rectification. While the AC resistance of the low voltage AC cable is slightly larger than the DC resistance. AC resistance is slightly larger than DC resistance. The high voltage cable is obvious mainly because the proximity effect of this and the skin effect. The loss of insulation resistance accounts for a large proportion, mainly the impedance generated by the capacitor and inductor. You must be remembering that in case of AC, we will have not only resistance, we will have capacitance also, we have inductance also. Inductive reactance and the capacitive reactance. Because of this, we will have a higher impedance. But in case of DC, we don't have, as the frequency is absent there, we don't have inductive effect as well as capacitive effect. Therefore, the total resistance of the DC is less as compared to the impedance of the AC. Because of this, what will happen? The transmission efficiency in case of DC is large. Okay. Although the price of the converter equipment is higher than that of a transformer, the cost of using the cable line is much lower than that of a AC cable. The cost involved in DC is less as compared to that of your AC cable. The DC cable is positive and negative poles, and the structure is simple. The AC cable is 3-phase, 4-wire or 5-wire system. The insulation safety requirements are high. The structure is complex. In case of AC, the structure is complex, and the cable cost is more, at least 3 times more than that of your DC cable. Okay, that is the difference between AC cable and DC cable. Okay, and so these are some 6 differences of between AC cable and DC cable. Fine. Now coming to what are the limitations of the cable, underground cables. The cost of underground cables are very high, as compared to that of our overhead transmission line. We can say that underground cables cost is 3 times more than that of your overhead lines for the same capacity. Difficult in identifying and repairing a broken cables. If there is any fault on the underground cables, it's very, very difficult to locate the fault. But in case of overhead system, overhead cable, overhead transmission system, it's very easy to locate the faults. Damage to cables or electrocution may occur to the people digging the ground, and if they are unaware of the cable's existence. The maintenance of the underground cables is very difficult as compared to the overhead transmission system, because the underground cabling. So these are the limitations. And one more limitation is you cannot use longer cables. The length of the cable is limited, because as the length of the cable increases, insulation resistance decreases. If the insulation resistance decreases, what will happen? Leakage current increases. If the leakage current increases, fault will occur, isn't it? So these are some of the limitations of the cable. Okay, in the next lecture I will discuss about specifications of power cables. Okay.